A little while back, I had this sudden idea for a video. I remember envisioning it in my head and being like, yeah, that sounds great. The idea in question was a Hollow Knight challenge, one I surprisingly haven't seen done. So naturally, I jumped at the opportunity to be the first person to complete an abstract challenge like this. Defeating Dung Defender with only the Defender's Crest. And so, I started recording. Didn't go well. It felt like no matter how long I endured his attacks, I never progressed the fight. I figured I should just look up the stats on Dung Defender and the Crest and... oh. Dung Defender has 800 hit points in the Hall of Gods on Attuned difficulty. If I could have replayed the base fight without nail upgrades while also having the Defender's Crest early, I would have, because he would only have 700 health. But I didn't feel like starting up a cheat mod and getting all that set up. The Defender's Crest ticks for 1 damage. 1 damage. And I put the footage into my editing software to see how quickly it ticks. And it's about every 0.4 seconds, but for the purposes of the video, I'm just going to round to half a second. So if we do the math and calculate how long it'll take for the Defender's Crest to defeat Dung Defender, I'm going to be generous and say that we constantly have the cloud on him, which is impossible, but hear me out. With the damage cloud constantly on the Dung Defender, it will take 7.5 straight minutes of dodging and keeping the cloud on him. At first, it doesn't sound too incredibly bad, but unfortunately, that's not how it works. There's 2 other variables at play here. Dodging and invulnerability. The player has to dodge attacks in order to actually survive, meaning staying away from the Dung Defender, and the Dung Defender will go underground every now and then, making him impossible to hit. Taking these into account, let's be very generous and say that you're able to get an average of 1 damage every 3 seconds. Run the numbers and... what's that? You're spending 40 minutes on this fight? I gave up. I quit the challenge. After realizing how long it would actually take, I just knew I wasn't the kind of guy for this. But one thing I can do is make a big deal out of nothing, i.e. create a video from something I didn't do. So, this is my request to you. If you think you have the infinite patience it requires to complete this Hollow Knight challenge, then go for it. Just be sure to clear your calendar in advance. If this video somehow reaches the eyes of someone like Fireborn, I'll be impressed and kind of freaked out. If you do manage to clear this challenge, you can join my Discord server, link in the description, and or upload it to YouTube with the tag Defender's Crest Only. Spread the word of the challenge that could take upwards of an hour to complete, and see if anyone you know will step up to the plate. One last thing. I would like to mention that Cranky Templar has defeated Radiant Umu with only the Defender's Crest, but it just doesn't hit the same as a standard boss. Though I bet Cranky Templar could do it against Dung Defender if he learned of this.